What's up, everyone? This is DYANAROZAY. Welcome to my channel. Hey, everybody in the chat. What's up? What's up? What's up? If you guys can hear the sound of my voice, please let me know by putting your city and state in the chat. Thank you. Uh, thank you, everybody, for joining the live today. I had a couple of things that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Let's see. We have Layla, Tasha Rains. Hello, how are you? Yes, can we get everyone to click the like button, please? All right, I see a couple of people typing their information into the chat. Thank you so much. I see Florida. Thank you, Orlando. I also see Columbus, Georgia. What's up? What's up? What's up? Thank you, guys. Philadelphia, what's up? Hey, Jesse. Let's see. Good evening. That's Miss Ross. Hey, how are you? Okay, hey guys, come on in. I see Louisiana. I see Texas, Athens, Georgia. What's up? What's up? Birmingham, Alabama, Virginia, Philadelphia. Okay, cool. I love to see where you guys are coming from. New York, Toronto. Let's see. I don't think I've ever seen Martinsburg, West Virginia. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, Huntsville. All right, guys. So let's get into it because it's Wednesday. It's Hump Day. People probably have things to do. Ooh, hey there, Layla. Norway. I love that. Oh, she said it's midnight right now. Well, thank you for joining me at midnight, Miss Layla. I love Layla. She is awesome. She is a blessing to this channel. Cincinnati, what's up? Arkansas, Charleston. Okay, welcome everybody to the chat. Let me take off this thumbnail. What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me. Let's see, we got 97 people watching right now. I know that it will grow. Let's see, we got 44 likes though. So if you guys could please hit those like buttons as you come in. You don't have to be in the chat, active, but if you're watching, go ahead and hit that like button. Also, I want to thank all of the mods that joined today. Miss Tina, I think I saw Tasha Rains in here as well. Let's see if anybody else, did we see anybody else? Tasha Rains, Miss Tina, and Miss Jones. Hey, thank you guys for joining. Anybody that you see that is purple, hey Ty, anybody that you see that is in purple highlight, or maybe it shows up as blue on your screen with a little wrench behind it, those are the mods that have volunteered their time today to spend with me, okay, and you to make sure that you have a good time in the chat. Sure, I like to talk about some things, and things can sometimes feel, I don't know, a little energetic, I guess. But these ladies are going to make sure that you guys have a good time in the chat. No one's bullying each other. There's no like racial slurs or homophobic comments or any of those kind of things. We just want a good time. Okay. So that's what those ladies are here to do. Now, yes, you like my black Barbie shirt? Thank you, Dee Dee. I appreciate that. Listen, I had got this off of Amazon. So as soon as it rolled up, I was like, oh, yes, this is me. I have to put my little black Barbie shirt on. So thank you for acknowledging and recognizing the style. Okay. Yes. So anyways, let's move into the next topic. So you guys, if you are following me, hopefully you are, okay, on my Facebook page, I have a private group called DYANAROZAY Real Talk. Hey there, Dallas. And then I posted a message over there earlier today, and then I posted a message as well on my YouTube page. Okay. Y'all can go on over there and check it out. But one of the things that I've noticed based on my personal experience, this has been happening for at least the last 48 hours. I've had people come over and bash me. They were saying all kinds of crazy things, and I kind of addressed it yesterday. Like, we all talk different. We all content creators say different things. Learn to appreciate the differences, because you shouldn't want to hear everybody say the same thing all the time. Like, it doesn't help the growth. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, I said it as gently as I could yesterday, and then I noticed that people were still saying it today. And because of that, excuse me, I was looking down at my phone, which I should not be doing. I had ended up making a post, and I was just saying, hey guys, we have to be careful with the mute movement, because I don't know if everybody understands what it actually meant. Number one, when you give someone a directive, you kind of got to follow the people that's doing it to make sure that they understand it. So I don't think that everyone understood it clearly because people were on my page showing the F out. I had to delete a couple of people, and then there was a whole bunch of people that did their own thing. But that was going on all day yesterday for me and the day before, and I don't understand why. I have been on this platform for a year and a half, damn near. And I've always been a Melody supporter. People who follow me also follow others that follow Melody or support Melody. So I'm assuming that if you are in my chat or on my channel, you're probably not a Martell supporter. You're probably not a foolishness supporter. So when you come over and you're like, "Oh, mute Martell on my page," I'm like, "Well, what the hell did I do that was so different from anybody else that you guys listen to?" Because everybody talks about him. I didn't say go buy his ribs or whatever the hell he's selling. I didn't say anything like that. I'm sharing the news the way everybody else shares news. So it kind of confused me. So I just want to be clear on the fact that number one, that's not tolerated over here at all. I don't appreciate it. Number two, um, I don't know how I get. I told you guys yesterday. I get like demographics, like analytics for my channel. Analytics is the proper term. So it gives me like the age group, what you guys listen to, things like that, so that I can bring you specific content. Because it's hard to do this every day to figure out content that we can bring to you guys. Again, we're all reporting on the same subject, so you want to make sure that your voice stands out from everybody else's voice. Otherwise, you're gonna be like, bitch, I'm tired of you. I'm just gonna listen to this one. That's how it works. But I want to say this. For those of you who follow me, I'm going to assume that you were around when there was no social media, when there wasn't a Twitter, when there wasn't an IG, when there was literally a PR machine. And some people have heard about it, some people haven't, okay? But a PR machine used to give us the same story on every celebrity, and it would hit all platforms: print, radio, television. So if someone was found out in any situation, whatever happened, if someone got into a car accident because they were drunk driving, if the PR machine wanted to say there was a problem at the mechanic and they actually messed up the brakes and that's what happened, that's the story that was told. You didn't get the real story. Period. There was no cell phone camera that captured the incident. That was the story, and that's how it went across the board. And anyone who deviated from that story, who said, I know the real story, they were canceled for real, but it happened in Hollywood. They were never heard from again. And the next time you saw them, they were a bum on the street, literally. That is how news worked. And that wasn't too long ago, okay? When Donald Trump came out and said, fake news, and I know because I used to pay y'all to change the story, he wasn't lying. It was fake news. And that's how it worked. And the reason why we don't have those platforms anymore, the reason why the newspaper is dead, or if it's not, it's on its last leg, okay, in your town. The reason why people barely watch the news is because once social media became popular and people realized, I'm going to tell you the real story, it removed the PR machine, okay? So some of you are aware of what that is, right? Let me see what you're saying, Veronica. I enjoy your commentary. Please do not let. No, I'm never going to allow the nonsense to sway me. I'm just letting you guys I'm just giving you a picture of what is happening, because no one tries to silence women's voices and Black voices like a bully. Okay. We want to be careful of that. Okay. We don't want that to happen. What I'm just giving you guys is just a little background, a little history of where we came from. Again, not that long ago, maybe 15 years, 20 years, when things was like, oh, this isn't the truth, and it made those things go away. But imagine growing up your whole life not knowing the truth about something or someone, not knowing the truth. Imagine the reason why women's voices are silenced is because when they did try to tell it to a news outlet or whatever, and they'll tell you to this very day, those news outlets would drop their pens and say, oh, we're not running that. we're going to go against the machine and the machine will kill us. So you figure out a way to deal with that shit, whatever it is, but you'll never hear it from me. Okay. So there was people who stopped real stories, real abuse stories, real whatever stories from coming out about people. And it got to grow and grow and fester and fester. Stories like Bill Cosby. Y'all, if anybody watched the Playboy Mansion thing, I'm sure there's a lot of young women who was like, where the hell, how could this go on for, why wouldn't anyone tell? You couldn't. You couldn't tell. Those things were allowed to happen. And for people who understand and know how the Bill Cosby story actually came out, it wasn't because a woman told. It was because a man told twice. Two men came out and told that story, and that is how that story got legs. It wasn't because there was a woman who went down to the police station and reported their story. Those stories were squashed before they could ever be said out loud. Those people had an opportunity to keep doing exactly what they were doing. And you know how people end up telling on people when you know that person has influence, fame, celebrity, and money? You know how that quiet voice in the back who doesn't know if anyone's going to believe her tells the story? It's because they get to watch this person live their life while they sit in a mental and emotional turmoil. So if I see you on your boat, or if I see you about to buy NBC, if I see you keep moving on with your life, then maybe it gives that person who's sitting back and watching an opportunity to say, fuck that. I'm going to say something because I'm tired of seeing this person move and me say nothing at all. That is how those stories happen. So when I was sharing that with you guys, like, we got to be careful about muting. Now, you can say, I'm not buying this person's mess. You can protest that, but you got to let people have the opportunity to find the strength and the courage to tell. We shouldn't mute everybody. Sometimes people need to let things grow within them to get the bones to tell, because it's scary telling. It's scary telling on people with influence and money and power and celebrity. It's scary. And then they sit in it for years before they get the courage to do so. So we also have to be mindful of that, because sometimes technology moves so fast that we forget the human experience. There's a human experience here. We forget that. And I just wanted to make sure everybody had an opportunity to hear me say that. And I'm saying it from experience, period. I have said some things a couple of years ago where someone I didn't even speak to, never spoke to before, sent me a message and said, can I talk to you? Because I think I know exactly who you're talking about, and I want to make sure. And that is what I want you guys to remember. You can't intercept everything. You have to let people find the courage to say. That's what I'm saying. So I apologize. I don't mean to offend anyone. I just want us to remember that there is a thing called free press, but free press was never free. This is the freest we've ever seen of the press. Free press has always been bought, specifically with celebrity news. But if you can buy celebrity news, you can buy political, you can buy whatever. And now we are in a place where people are saying things, and it is solely because they're fed up with the appearance of things. And that's what we have to remember. Ooh, Tasha Reigns. Okay, Tasha Reigns is saying that Queen Sheba has received messages saying that she should be. And I didn't realize that Tasha Reigns, thank you for sharing that. I'm not going to post it, but I didn't realize that happened to her. But that happened to me on this very platform for sharing news that I told to you guys. That happened to me too. And I didn't say anything. I kept it moving. But I want you to understand how serious it is when we say, let's quiet even what you think is just a small thing. It's not small to the person that's affected by it. We need to remember that the way stories get told is because my understanding when I heard that was that it was a post of pictures. Yes, I understand that, Joyce. However, even if it's pictures, what you're doing is you're saying out of sight, out of mind for someone who may be suffering. And for them, it might be okay. But sometimes you got to let the steamboat roll. You feel me? You got to let it roll. That is how things happen. What I was going to actually say is if we look at history and how things happen, usually people make it to those high tiers of their platform. I'm going to run for president. I'm going to accept this Supreme Justice seat. I'm going to do this. Once things like that happen, it could have happened 30 years ago. But now I want to tell my story because this person has all the power to do exactly what they did to me a million times. So now I'm going to tell my story. Let people tell their story. That's how it happens. YouTube should be fun place to come. Now it's becoming too toxic. Well, it's not toxic on my channel. That's the problem. I'm not giving y'all toxic information. I'm giving y'all regular information. You guys jump from channel to channel, then you come over to my channel, and then you want to tell me what to do. Keep it on the channel that shared it with you. Keep them true to the words they speak. Stop coming over my channel and telling me what to do, is what I'm asking. It's not toxic in that matter. If that's what you were referring to, Constance, or excuse me, Cassandra, I'm not sure if that's what you were referring to. You could have been referring to something else, but I just wanted to say that to you. Okay. Exhale, exhale. That's all I'm saying. We have to remember, a lot of you are women who watch my channel. I'm aware of that. This is a women-centric channel. Okay. Cassandra said she was not talking to me. Thank you. I appreciate you clearing that up. Okay. Women-centric channel, Black women, we should know how powerless it can be when we can't talk. And again, talking means for most people, because once it happens to you, you may not have the language to actually speak it at the time. When it happens to you, especially if you're fighting someone that you perceive to be on a different plane than you. Playing field, again, money, celebrity, fame, influence, you don't always see it that way. You don't always think, I can share this story now. But what happens is that there is a swell that comes inside of you where you say, I can't keep this inside anymore. And you have to allow whatever those things are to happen so that they can see it and say, this is my time. Now, we've seen it before with a young lady. I'm not going to even say her name, but a young lady came out and said some things that people found beneficial. But a lot of people were upset by that. And I understand that too. I can't tell you not to be upset, but I can say that sometimes you just got to let things rock. If you follow me, you know that this channel is not supporting Martell, that the stories that's coming from this channel is literally, hopefully, supporting Melody in her journey and the show in its journey, however that's going to roll. And I'm assuming that if you follow me and you're following other supporters, that you're probably getting the same information from all of us. Again, just a different voice sharing it. If y'all know people who are doing something different, then maybe that's where the message should go. That's all I'm saying. Let's see. My parents always taught us to respect people's houses. Child, I hear you. I appreciate you, Stephanie. But that's one of the things that I wanted to say. I also wanted to hear from you what your thoughts were about it. I don't want to offend anybody, absolutely anyone. There's a lot of women who have stories about things that has happened to them, abuse stories, whether it was in childhood or, later in life. But how you and when you decided to tell your story, if you ever decided to tell it, is important. How you got there is what I would like to know. I've had people come up on this channel and say, this is the first time I've ever been on your panel. I love you. I watch you. This is the first time I've ever been on your panel. And for me, that means every time I close this MacBook, every time I close this MacBook, and after I've heard that, I always think I've provided a safe place for them to share, period. That's all I want is a safe place for you to share. That's it. So let's see what else you guys have to say. And someone is saying that they really wish that the show would end. Most of the negative CCs won't be around afterward because they won't have anything to talk about. Child, we'll see. We'll see. I've walked in the same shoes as Mel. Mine was worse. I've been able to help other women get courage to walk away from abusive relationships. I'm thankful. I'm truly thankful I could help someone. Thank you, Miss Jones. I appreciate you. Let's see. Certain people think that they can tell adults what to do, and those people need to get their own channel and stop the drama. I agree. Listen, not everybody's supposed to agree with you. If you can be respectful and say, I don't think so, that's fine. But making demands on people feels weird. And I feel like you missed the entire point of what she was trying to ask, which is, for me, when I did hear it, I thought she was basically saying just don't support, because she ended up talking about him the very next day. So if you're talking about him, you can't mute. You feel me? And we also have to be mindful of what we're putting out there so that people can share and tell, because if someone is watching, they can get scared that, oh, there's a mute movement. Maybe I can't tell my story, or whatever the case may be. And that's not true either. Okay. We need to make sure that we support people where they are in their journey. Okay. And that's it. I agree. If Martell doesn't talk, that doesn't mean he's not doing what he's doing. It just means he's not talking. That's it. If that makes you feel comfortable, fine. But if there is another victim, that victim deserves a platform. They deserve a safe space to share. Okay, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Okay, now I'm going to move past that. I'm going to move past that. Thank you, CS Shopper. I appreciate you. It's not smart to mute someone who is facts. That is exactly why I said prior to social media, there was no social media. There was a PR machine that told you what they wanted you to know. It didn't matter. Drew Barrymore, she's very open about sharing when she started doing drugs and things. I think she was 8 years old or 7 years old. But she's very open about telling you, shoot, she was, doing her thing with the straws and all that mess. But nobody got to know that until she opened her mouth and said it, because there was a machine. People got paid off of her, and they made sure that nobody talked about it. And that's what I'm saying. We got to just keep that in mind. I hear you. You got the impression that it was pictures of the other child. And I don't know if that's the case or not. All I can say is I had over 15 comments on my channel, and I don't post the other child. Anytime I post a child, there is a blur over that kid's face. So whatever happened, it fell on a lot of people's deaf ears, and maybe there was just something else going on, but it was ignorant for me. And I still believe that let that person do whatever. You don't have to like it, but you don't know who is on the other side that's watching, that's saying enough is enough for me. I'm ready to share my story. Let's see. When he doesn't talk, that means he's up to something. We need for him to stay visible. And that's up to you guys how you want to share it. I'm not changing my channel for anybody. I just was hoping if the words that I spoke gives you a different perspective, that's all I want, is a different perspective. That's it. You may still disagree, and that's okay too. That's totally okay. I'm just telling you from my experience, from my personal experience, growing up and how I saw women silenced. That's not what I want. And I know that women are most vocal when they get to see someone still moving on and acting like they didn't do ish to me, period. Okay, so I'm dropping that subject right now. Let's see. Drew Barrymore said that her mother was a terrible mother. Some of you remember, some of you don't, and that's okay too. But like I said, if I can change your perspective, I can have you research some things, that's okay. Erica Fleming, I'm sure that some people did misunderstand the message. There's no way to change it though once it goes out there. That's the problem. Once it's out there, it's out there. Once people get the wrong, if you got 15 people who understood it differently, they get to tell 15 more people. It just grows legs. That's all. So let's talk about, there was two other people that I put up here. Someone says, so wait, there's a mute movement. You can't change who you are to fit someone else's norms. I can't change who I am. I'm way too old to even try. It's going to come out the way it's going to come out. My sister tell me all the time, I wish you would just shut up. It's never going to happen. That's why I got a YouTube channel in the first place. Because it's never going to happen. And I understand it. I am my mama's child for sure. I used to tell her all the time, could you please not say that? Can we please just go over here and you not do this? And she would be like, I sure will. I won't say a thing. And the second she got in the house, she'd start talking. Whatever it was that she said she wasn't going to say, she said all of it. Okay. And then some. So that was just how she was. So I wanted to talk to you guys about some other subjects. Let's talk Croy and Kim Zolciak. So some new stuff came out today. I don't know if you guys remember or heard of this. Kim and Croy. Croy has been hit with a lawsuit because he has a $190,000 Rolls Royce that he hasn't paid the payments for, made the payments for. I think it's almost $6,000 a month. And he had his lawyer. This is the part I want you guys to hear. He had his lawyer put out a press statement saying Kim is the reason he has not been able to make the payment. He said that she's blown through all of the money. He didn't say his money, just all of the money. And that she believes that she's constantly purchasing things that's not necessities. He also called her an alcoholic and some other things. And I was just thinking, Croy, y'all remember Croy, the guy who sat in the background and was just silent about some things? He sure does know how to use that press machine right now. So I wanted to know what you guys thought about him using the press machine to keep them stories pushed out. Because yesterday he had the story about him wanting a guardian ad litem appointed by the court because he believes that Kim should definitely lose custody. So after both of them going through the classes, receiving their certificates and being told everything's okay, and literally every friend they have that is coming out right now and saying, I would have never guessed. I would have never thunk it in a million years. They had me completely fooled. Croy keeps these stories going in the press about Kim. Let me see what else has been said. Excuse me. He said that he gave her money and she gambled it away. I heard that. Croc is spinning the narrative. I mean, we met Croy was spinning the narrative, but he knew who Kim was. Yeah, I don't think Kim has changed much. They are working hard to get back on RHOA for that check. Child, well, they saying that he hasn't paid the bill in months. And I think that the payment was actually due. I guess whatever payments he was supposed to have was supposed to be due this year in July, like the to complete the payments, but they didn't get that completed. Croy is trying to get, yeah. So I wanted to hear what you guys had to say because we talked a little bit about that. Croy is trying to get Kim to take all the blame. It is both their fault. Okay. Let's see. I hope all can get back to just providing content and ignore the negative and naysaying. Well, this is a problem. I don't actually care about what the other content creators are saying. It's the subscribers who show up in our comments with the BS. I'm not sure that everybody is, what's the word I'm looking for? Not everyone is always stable to hear that information. And so they end up thinking they're taking a directive and they're doing crazy stuff. Um, let's see. Croy is hard at work to protect his kids from Kim's toxic butt, and Kim is and always will be the snake. Okay, child. I appreciate that. Thank you. Um, oh, I just got a message. Let me see what this says. Hey, we have an interview. Okay. Cool. Okay, I just got a message about Miss Kiki. I want to make sure that I am paying attention to that. Okay. Let's see what else is coming on. Let's see. There is someone called California Cutie. I guess she is a YouTuber. Um, maybe, but she has an interview with Kiki Jabbar. It looks like it's going to be a good one. So if you guys get an opportunity, please watch California Cutie 310 because it looks like Kiki is spilling everything. So I love it. Okay, let's see. Kim is going back to Housewives. That's what I heard, that she is going back to Housewives, to be honest. The other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is Nene. I don't know if you guys had an opportunity, but she had a video up on her channel yesterday where she said, listen, a lot of people have been reaching out to me and saying that they want, me to respond to the Nene has broke up with Yanni and whatever's going on with Housewives. And she said that I'm not doing it. Okay. Croy should have turned the Rolls Royce back in and got him a Honda. She said, I'm not doing it. She said, I'm in my soft season right now. She's not even season. She said era. She said, I'm in my soft era. And she said, I'm not, and she said this before too. You guys can let me know how you feel about it. She said, and at the end of the day, I don't have to respond to everything. Some things you just gotta, I don't hold grudges. I'm not in a place where I can hold on to that anymore. That's a fact. The older you get, hopefully, the older you get, you realize that there is an energy that may be suppressing you. And some things you just gotta let go. You let them go and you move on. But she said that's where she is. And she said, if anybody want to talk to her about being in her soft era, she'll do that. But she's not addressing the rest of the comments. Y'all can let me know what y'all think about that. Then let's see. Allegedly, the thing about Sheree trusting Kim to come on as a friend, did she also forget that Kim and Sheree so mad that she pulled her wig? Nene told y'all about Kim and Candy. Okay, so people still want to talk about that a little bit, but a lot of people are saying that Kim is coming back to RHOA. Well, I told y'all that Croy is suing her for alimony and child support and full custody of the children and the house. So because of that, hey, Miss Cookie, because of that, she's going to need a job. So I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't helping her get back on RHOA. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case, so that he can get what he's looking for, because she was the breadwinner for a large part of their relationship. This is the second time saying it. Hopefully someone will catch a hint. Oh, sorry about that. I interrupted a private conversation that had nothing to do with me. Okay. What else did I want to talk to you guys about? Oh, so this was the other thing, and I forgot to mention this. I did talk about it on Saturday on my live. I told you guys that Melody had made a post where she actually said, hey guys, I do have some things that is I've given to my lawyer, and there is legal things that's in the works. And I wanted to talk to you guys about that too, because I said it on Saturday. Listen, and I've been sharing this with y'all for a minute. Melody is smart. Sometimes we think that a whole lot of things is going on and she's not paying attention or she doesn't know. I think that she is very on top of things. In fact, and I've said this before too, a lot of younger women who've watched us, the older ladies, stay quiet about things. That's just not who they are. They're not that way. And I cannot say how appreciative and how much respect I have for the younger generation of women who are like, this is it. It ends with me. I'm telling. I love it. And I hope that we continue to encourage these young women to say what they have to say. Okay. Let's see what else. Yeah, she said that She can't talk about it because it is legal issues. But I wanted to talk to you guys about that, or I wanted to get your opinion about that. And then yesterday, I heard Queen Sheba say that the network or producer, not the network, a producer, and she didn't say who, tried to stop the Martell interview. And she said that she didn't want to say which producer or what. We saw Martell talking, and we know he was getting phone calls during the live because his screen would go black. And also, we could tell that there was someone in his ear and, whatever he was holding on his phone. And I wanted to just say to you guys how you felt about that, because when I first saw the interview, I said, "Oh, was this set up by the net?" Because I couldn't believe that he would be allowed to talk about it. Actually, I would have assumed they would have said, "No, don't do this." But she said they tried to stop her, and I'm kind of curious why her and not him. But I also wanted to talk to you guys about that too. Let's see. Miss Jones said, "I kept quiet in my previous marriage because I kept quiet in my previous marriage about things because I didn't want my family to get involved." That's true. Listen, people didn't want their families to get involved. And sometimes your family, period, said, "Don't talk about it. I don't want you to talk about this. I don't want you to bring any shame to you or our family." But people do stuff all the time. We hear about this all the time in the church. People are forced to keep those things secret because you don't want people doing X, Y, and Z to the priest or to the whatever. Let people talk. Let people talk. Um, let's see. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because they didn't know that he will go off the rails. Exactly. Exactly. Anywho, this is kind of a free for all. So if you guys have anything that you'd like to share, I'm going to put the link out there because I want like to hear from you. I want to hear from you. If you want to come up, if you don't want to come up, that's okay too. Okay, this isn't going to be a very long live. It's just giving us an opportunity to share a couple of things. Okay, giving us an opportunity to share a couple of things and see how you guys feel about it. I put the link in there. There's 533 of you watching right now, 258 likes. Please go ahead and hit that like button. And let's get to it here. Let's replace the pin. We'll put that pin up for now. I'll get you a second pin in just a second. But if you are interested in coming up and talking about any of the subjects I just shared, please do. I have Miss Ty, my faithful subscriber. Hey, Ty.
Hey Diana, how you doing?
I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Okay.
I just want to say this. I when I come up here,
Mm-hmm.
I come to talk about some of the topics that you speak about and talk my ish, crack some jokes, and move forward. Right?
Right?
I'm into having healthy debates about politics and criminal justice.
Correct.
The reality TV thing is not my niche, but
Okay.
but whatever. So I just wanted to say that to get that out the way because I
Okay.
know it was a little hectic yesterday.
Yesterday was a good live. Excellent live. I appreciated every opinion that came up here. It was that's healthy debate. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, so I know you said that you don't like to have the information from other CCs to your channel, which I respect that. That's why when I first asked you, could I say a YouTuber's name? I asked you first.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm gonna say this. I hope it doesn't go against what you said, but I seen some what is that court documents,
Mhm.
and in the court documents, I don't know how much, but it was a sum of Croy's money that Kim was depleting out of his account.
Okay.
Now I don't know because I really don't follow Kim and Croy like that, but I don't know how is he getting his money. Is he? I don't even know what he do for work. I haven't seen not a commercial, not a what
So
do you,
after she got the show, he actually, if I'm understanding it, I saw it in some court documents as well, that he became her manager.
Oh,
Feed from Bravo. That's how he got. That was his job.
and you know when they become a husband and wife, one of them becomes the manager, then it's almost like entitlement to the money. Whether it's like the artist is entitled to the money because the manager is my husband. You know that it's almost like Tamar and Vince. Remember that power
Mhm.
struggle those two had,
I do.
manager and artist.
I do.
So it even came out today in some more court documents that Croy said Kim was letting the kids play the slot machines on her phone. I said,
That is crazy.
so I mean, I don't know. I know we had that conversation about Croy and what type of character he could possibly be,
Yeah,
but from what I've seen on the show, he it's still my opinion, he is still fit to be the better parent to me.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I understand. Okay, that's good news. I listen. I'm saying it because there's a couple of things that we need to know. As a
Hmm.
woman-centric channel, period. I appreciate male voices. If anybody is out there, a man watching, you want to come up and talk about it, great. But in my era, I didn't see men fight for full custody of the kids. I don't even think that a judge agreed with it. We are watching something completely different happen right now. And I want people to be aware of it. That is what I'm asking. Like, we also see women be the head of their household, the money maker, and the man may be, taking the caregiver role for the children. That happens too. So now that we know that these roles are changing, and I'm watching literally something happen one way and go a completely different way, I think it's okay to talk about. We should be talking about it. We should be talking about it. Okay.
Do
Uh,
you find it? I'm sorry. Do you find it funny that they still stay in the same house? Why they fighting?
Well, they're staying in the same house because they're fighting for the house. Thank you, Sean, for blessing the channel, and thank you. I just got this shirt, y'all. I was like, let me buy my little black Barbie shirt. I thought this was the cutest thing when it showed up on my little IG. But I appreciate you too, Sean. Thank you for blessing the channel. One of the reasons why um, they are fighting for they're both in the same house because they're both fighting for the same house for the house. If you one of you leave, you kind of relinquish your rights. He sued or he filed first, so he's saying I'm staying in the house. If she would have filed
Mm,
first, he may have been forced to leave the house, but he's not.
okay.
He's pulling Ty. He's doing what a woman would typically do. This is my house. I'm here with the kids. I filed on you. I asked for full custody. This is all the stuff that the woman would do. And typically, the man would be forced to go. But in this situation, he's pushing out Kim. And in the press release that he made about the car, he also said he is scraping every month just to pay the house note, that all of the bills are crumbling in on him, even though he wants full possession of the home.
Hmm. I wonder what happened to that foreclosure. I didn't hear anything else about that.
They were able to get from under the foreclosure. We don't know who
Oh,
saved them, but they were able
okay,
to.
so Bravo saved them. Got it. I got it. That's who saved them. Andy saved them.
Well, that it was rumored, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
made the comment, listen, somebody gonna save her. They ain't gonna let that house go into foreclosure. But now that we have both people fighting for the house, because it literally happened right after, um, we have to see. Lisa Love said, while these husbands and managers seem to go out of control, look at Anita Baker and Jill Scott. Too much control.
Mm.
Folks, show. What do you have to say about that, Anita Baker and Jill Scott, girl?
Jill Scott, husband is her manager.
She was.
Cause
He
I ain't
was.
heard a
He's
new Jill
divorced.
Scott song in a long time.
I believe Jill Scott is divorced, but he was.
Oh, okay. And Anita Baker, she said she retired. She did one concert before she left.
But Kelly Clarkson pays some ridiculous amount of money. I forgot how much she pays a month. I feel like it's over 100,000. Okay. Um, who else? Halle Berry. And she was she married to that man? She just had a child with him. They share 50-50 custody, but she was paying an upwards of like 16, 17,000 a month for that child, and she was just able to get it reduced, I think, this year. So that's something to think about.
But then again, I also have to think about this too.
Jennifer Hudson. Mm-hmm.
I got to think about the financial uh, uh, area then, compared to somebody as opposed to me. They might be their net worth might be millions of dollars. Kim and Croy, whether he working or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
And influence and money will get you a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Famous name, things like that. It'll get you a lot of things and a lot of favor, especially with the courts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You're right. You're right. Okay, hey LaDon, what's up? What do you think about all of this?
Hey Diana, you look beautiful as always. Hi chat. Well, you know how I feel about Croy. I don't really like him neither, but I do think he's the more fit parent. But I'm gonna say, for years, you're right. Women were the ones, but I've seen in my own family where we had to push my cousin to fight for custody because he had a crazy baby mama that still wanted to be in the hood still, so I'm glad that the tables have turned because I'm now in this day and age, you can't say just because the mother pushed the baby out that she's the better parent, and I think the best thing is to make the best decision for the child and what is going to be healthy mentally and physically for the child. And if Kim or any woman is not mentally healthy for the child, then I believe if the father is involved and can get that child, he should get that child.
He should get that child. Okay.
That's how I feel. But as far as the managers and the husbands, I don't think they should mix that. Look what happened to Wendy Williams. That's just crazy with her, and the nerve of him.
Down. That heartbreak took her down.
Because the way he did it, you want to take my money and y'all still live off of me every month. It was just.
Well, now they're not because of the way it was set up.
Yeah, but look what it took. It drove her crazy.
Child, did it?
Come on now. Don't mix business with pleasure. What happened to that?
That was the biggest manager, talent relationship that we've seen, and the way that failed. Because for years those rumors had been out there, years, and then when it got to that boiling point, and Wendy just couldn't. But yeah, what do you think about everything else? What do you think about Nene saying that she's in her soft era, that she is only, because Nene, I'm sorry, I said this to you guys yesterday. We've seen her take some hits and she's always stood up strong, but now she's like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not fighting anybody. I'm in my soft era. What do y'all think about that? And also a whole bunch of posts come out where people have proved that Nene said, I don't want anyone using my likeness. I don't want anyone using me to promote this show anymore.
Well, I do feel like as people, we grow up or we learn lessons, and hopefully Nene is learning lessons at her ripe age that you have to handle things a certain way, and doing it the way she has done it in the past didn't work too good for her. So you got to try something different, right? When it doesn't work good for you, try something different. You keep bumping your head on that merry-go-round and keep doing the same old thing and having the same old results. So I'm all for anybody that want to change. I've changed my life. You know what I mean? So I'm all for her change, and I hope it's real. I'm not, I like Nene, but I'm not like a fan of hers. You know what I mean? So it's like, I just believe in right is right and wrong is wrong. I don't like to see our people get treated any old way, even if, kind of biased. If it's against the other kind, even if I don't really like the person, I feel like they're doing them wrong, I'm going to fight for the cause, not the person.
Got it. Got it. Hold on one second. I'm about to drop the membership link. Let me get Miss Sharon and then Golden. Just want to hear your opinions. What? Excuse me, one second, Miss Sharon. Ashley, LaDon, and Ty, I forgot to ask you, what do y'all think about the mute movement? Do y'all have anything that y'all want to share about that? About, because I mean, not everybody remembers what it was like when people weren't able to share their story and how long it took to get to the truth.
Oh, I love it. I love it because
maybe I'm so sorry. Maybe I'm confused. I don't know what is that? What is the mute movement? I'm sorry. What is that?
What I'm asking is, so it looks like people are saying we don't want to see pictures or positive. I don't know if it's positive because I it's not on my channel, but I think people were saying mute pictures or because someone
of Hotel Sun, like don't share it.
Look, I'm let them people do what they want on their channel and whatever else. I don't want to do all that. If it for me, I'm a millimeter. If it's not hurting Melody, I'm it's whatever. If she's not bothered, I'm not bothered.
Well, I'm gonna say this for me. I believe people should do what they want on their channel. I don't have a problem with people that don't want to do that. But if I had a channel, speaking for me, I would talk about the stuff that's going on, but I wouldn't show his son's I wouldn't grace his son with a picture like he didn't want the Eminem kids to get graced. I wouldn't give him what he wants. He wants that picture being seen. And that's giving that in my opinion, narcissist what he want, putting that baby out there in our face, pushing them on us. He's doing it in a slick way. And the more people show it, it's like still giving him what he wants, getting that face out there, trying to build a name and make money off that child. So in my opinion, I still would talk about his situations because it is the what we do out here, right? But in my opinion, I would not show the face until the Eminem, because it's fair is fair. You fought for that of those other kids not to be seen, but you want us to show the other kid.
Okay. Hey, Kimber, I just dropped the link, so it's at the pin to the top, okay? Okay, I appreciate that. I appreciate your opinion. And I understand that because you guys, there was this picture of him on a boat or whatever. I never put it on my page. I didn't talk about it on my channel because I'm at a place right now where I can't take everything in. I can't talk about everything. Just
I respect that.
My own mental process. It can be a lot. It can be a lot, and I don't know how to talk about it anyway. I'm supposed to say, "Oh, here he is on a boat." I don't give a damn. I mean, no offense. People should talk about what they want to talk about, but I think that not everybody understood where to go with the conversations. And so that's what I wanted to talk about. That's what I wanted to know. So let's see. We have Ty, Dawn. I have Sharon. What's up, Sharon?
Hello. Let me just quick. For Troy and Kim, I'll wait till the divorce is finalized. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay. I think they're gonna do when she goes back on the show. Mm-hmm. I think that they're gonna work it out, or it'll be a storyline for it'll be a true storyline for her. So I'm wait till the divorce is finalized and go from there.
Okay.
For I think that
Nene,
she did the right thing. Okay. She's older now. She Greg's not here no more. But they did what it did is she did a lawsuit.
Truth of the matter is Nene and Yanni, even though she hasn't said anything, she was going through something tough because she was with Greg forever, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So having someone help her move over or past a certain part of that pain is probably what she needed. Now she's in a different place and she needs to experience something different.
And also, I think you need to understand too, he told her that he was separated, getting divorced from his wife. And then his wife, she was on the interview. His wife told her about him. And that's how his wife sued her. Well, why his wife sued her. And Nene told her, Nene said, it's not that serious. Take him back.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. So again, I think Nene, she did the right thing. She's older now. She not talking about nonsense. You know, she wanted to, find somebody who got their crap together at that age group.
Okay.
Um,
And then what do you think about the other subject about the mute movement? What do you think about how, I don't know if you remember how the press was back in the day, how we had a PR machine that controlled
well,
every
I remember the '80s because I was a teenager at the time,
Okay.
and I remember my mother said this. You remember? I got her name is. Okay, she's a famous child star back in the late '70s, and she got onto drugs. No one knew. So when she came into people,
Is it Drew Barrymore?
no, not her, but she. Again, I remember I remember all the '80s white kids. They was on drugs. Okay, they told the story in the '90s how they got on drugs and all that stuff. Okay, this person told me, well, what happened to the black kids? There were no black TV shows. You only had the Cosby Kids, and they weren't doing nothing. And you didn't have really. And in the '70s, what's happening? So they weren't doing no drugs.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm being honest. There were no black TV shows back then. But this is the one lady. She was. Remember the movie called Family back in the '70s?
I don't remember.
You don't remember that, right? Okay. There was a girl on there. She was a teen star. And we saw her family was in the industry. She came in the late '80s and the early '90s.
Mm-hmm.
She came out on People that she was on drugs. All right, it's on in People. And my mother said, it's interesting how these white kids can go on drugs and no one know anything about it till they go on People and show how they overcome. But when a black person's on drugs, you show all the stuff up front, find all kind of dirt. That's what mom was telling me. That's what mom was telling me back to how it was back then. When anybody black or anybody minority, they will find that information like this. But when anybody white, they wait till they overcome.
Let me say this to you because I've worked in a little bit of everything. I used to work for a rehab clinic that actually used to get like funding, public funding from the government. And the one thing they refused to fund. They would not do it. And if we had anyone coming in for treatment for that, they would pull the funding from us, was crack. So I'm going to talk to you guys about that later. Oh, no, I lost you. Okay, here she is. So I'm going to talk to you guys about that later, but let me get to Miss Golden. She dropped down.
I'm going to jump off now.
Okay, thanks, Sharon.
Thank you.
Hey, Golden.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Hi, Diana.
Hi, honey. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm glad I caught an afternoon chat in time.
Yes, what's up?
I have enjoyed this conversation. It's always enlightening to be in this group, in this setting of people. One of the things that I wanted to talk about was the mute thing. I kind of feel like a lot of us millimeters, we take things so to heart when we feel like things are, going to be hurting male or the Eminem kids, that that sometimes, I'm not saying it's aggressive, but I'm saying that like our emotions like can get the best of us on the keyboard. And so like I completely can understand why people are like, look, we're not invested in this child. This is the child that hurt your family. Why are you doing this? I mean, it's wrong, but I feel like in Martell's big push to hurt Mel, he's hurting his first 4 kids. And they're seeing this and they know this. I mean, it's my opinion, but I do feel like the Eminem kids have a lot of personality. They are so bright. They just light up on the camera. It's not forced for them.
I miss them on TV. Yeah. I've said this already. I miss them. You know what? You don't actually know because when you're watching them, you see them every once in a while. You're just like, oh, aren't they cute? But I miss them. I do.
Yes. I always go back. So I think I'm on like the 3rd season again. But just like I highlighted in my mind Boss Baby when they were taking the first pictures without Martell. And Boss Baby was like, I'm in this chair because I'm the queen and I'm in charge. And I was just like, oh my God, she's so adorable. And so that I don't think that, any of us can, push this narrative on whether or not, other content creators, or if anybody should give Martell a platform. He has a platform. So, like, if you guys are here to, report on what's being shown out here, this is what we come here to do, because we may not see it otherwise. We may not even be able to come here and talk about it and have an opinion about it if it's not highlighted.
You're right. That's important. That's what I was trying to say is sometimes I don't think we realize that the smallest thing can propel the next level of information.
Right. It's so true. It's so true. That's all I really wanted to touch on. I gotta get in here and get to work, but it was really good talking to you guys, and I'll watch the rest if I get a break later on. Have a good evening.
I love your voice. It's so soft and soothing, like Diana's.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
And no patient wants to hear a nurse coming there yelling.
Okay.
Absolutely. You take
All right.
care. I'll see you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Hi, Sheila.
Hey, DYANAROZAY.
Hi, honey. This your first time up?
This is my first time being up here on any panel. I just love listening to you. Oh my God, I just love listening to you. I just sit back and watch. I agree with everyone. I just listen and learn and stuff and everything. So I just love your commentary a lot. I listen to you every day, and I have seen Love and Marriage from first season all the way up. It just right now it's just draining. It's nothing.
Okay. So what are your thoughts on what we talked about today? Like, what are your thoughts on the movement? What do you remember, if you do, you may not, about how we used to have a PR machine that shared one story? Like the way Bill Cosby got to be Bill Cosby is because there was a PR machine that made sure not the truth never came out. Because I don't think people know that it was a man who broke the Bill Cosby story that made it the public story. And then it was a second man who came after that, both of them Black men, who said, and I'm just being honest, the first time I heard it, I didn't even hear, I think his name was Hannibal something. He was a comedian. I didn't even hear that story, but that was a story that went all over social media, Twitter at the time, I think. The second
I
time,
don't think I can remember that far back, but I do remember Bill Cosby and everything. But yes, back then I can remember a little bit. Back then, it hardly wasn't no information about
there was a
any
lot of information, and we were taught that
information
Bill
coming
Cosby
out
was the man.
about
Yes,
celebrity Bill Cosby or none of that.
correct.
I have what Dallas, none of like the Dallas show back in them, and none of their stories never did come out at all.
Yeah. People
It's
don't
just now
realize
times is
how
different.
easy it was to buy the press. You could buy
Mhm.
the press for anything. And the reason why people don't watch news anymore and they get all of their information from social media is because the press was bought. They told only the
Mhm.
stories the PR machine wanted you to tell.
Yes, that's true.
So
Yeah.
Hannibal Buress. Okay, someone remember. I'm sorry about this. Hannibal Buress was the first one. The second man I heard, he told a story on also a Black guy. He used to be on it was do y'all remember Welcome to Good Burger?
Yes.
Okay, who's a
Yes.
bigger
Mhm.
guy?
Keenan or the other one?
Is it
Keenan?
Keenan told
Keenan.
the second story. He was on and did an interview. He said, and I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it because that was when I remember sitting in my car in front of my house. I couldn't even get out of my car. I sat there with my mouth open because he told a story where he said, Bill Cosby was my idol as a child. I grew up watching everything Bill Cosby. He's my favorite comedian. He's the reason why I am a comedian today. I got a chance to meet him. And then he tells the story about what Bill Cosby said to him about women and how he need to do this, that, and the other. And he said, I was so disgusted
Mm.
that meeting that I wanted to throw up. He said, I didn't know how to get out of the room. And he said, I'm a man, so I can't even imagine what was actually happening to the women. He thought he was talking to someone like, I'm going to groom you to do what I did. And that's when I said, he literally was so comfortable with what he was doing that he shared that story with another man who said, I couldn't believe what I heard from my idol. And he said it. He spoke it out loud. And I could not believe it. Yep.
No, Diana, remember we were taught also what happens in a home stays in a home.
For sure.
And we would get that look. They didn't even have to say it no more. If they thought we was getting ready to open our mouths, we would get that look. If looks can kill, we would drop, you know what I mean? So I try to do different with my kids. I just said you don't share certain information as far as with any old body. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I do believe that people need to speak up and share their stories. When I was saying about Martel's kid, I wasn't saying mute Martel. No. That's not my stance. But my stance is if he has a picture or a story out there with that face, I would block that face out and still talk about his story. We need to put him out there in his bad behavior. Absolutely. I don't like these secrets. Secrets keep people sick. And we need to teach our women, our kids, and our young men to speak up when things happen and when things ain't right. But I don't like to, I don't want to mute anybody because I'm going to be honest. I'm 50 years old and I've learned so much at this age from this show and YouTube, you content creators breaking stuff down. When y'all say certain words, I start looking stuff up. I'm learning and I'm seeing what I've seen all my life, but couldn't put a name on it.
Listen, I think that's the most important thing about what Love and Marriage Huntsville has done. It has exposed some things that has literally changed people's lives. Yes. It has become a testimony for people in a way that other shows have not, at least not that I'm aware of. Not that it couldn't have happened, but not that I'm aware of. The reason why we are fascinated with it, the reason why we can talk about it every day is because it's like, wow, this young lady has been able to say what has taken 3, 4, 5, 6 generations to come out and say, like, in this short amount of time. Like, that's why I said, listen, I can't say enough the respect, and just the respect and how much I admire Melody.
That's right.
In that regards, because not only did something traumatic happen to her that would have laid us down. I said it before, I'll say it again. It would have laid us down, okay? I don't want to be on TV. I don't want to be on the radio. I don't want to be on my cell phone doing a whatever you call those, FaceTime. I don't want anybody looking at me. I'm going to be in this room in the dark, not saying shit, not doing nothing for a couple of months. Maybe I don't know. Okay.
I did it. I balled up.
We all do.
Yeah.
We all do. That is the normal thing to do. The fact that she was able to say, I accept this is the platform that I'm supposed to share. And I accept that my life is supposed to help others. And I accept that just because this happened to me doesn't mean that I stop the rest of my life. You're going to move. That's everything. People need to see that part.
Yes.
PX girl, I see you in the back, but it says your device is not connected. So maybe you need to go back out and come back in, okay? I really want to hear from you. Okay, sorry about that. I'm sorry I interrupted you. But that's what I admire the most is that we don't see enough of that because we're taught, and we're not even taught. We just lay down when shit happens to us.
Yes.
The fact that she didn't helps for me anyway. When you go through a bad spell, look, compartmentalize that, put it where it needs to be in the background, and you keep moving. You keep doing what you need to do.
Yes, that's true.
Okay, I'm sorry. I may have interrupted you, Miss Sheila. Did you have anything else you wanted to add to that?
No, I'm just sitting back listening and everything. I'm gonna drop down, but thank you for having me up on your panel, Dana.
I appreciate you.
I
Thank you for
really
coming up for the
appreciate it.
first time. I hope you come back.
I will. Thank you.
Bye bye. Hey,
Bye
BX
bye.
girl.
Hi, Miss Diana. This is the second time I got to talk to you, love your hats, love your content.
Thank you.
I
Well,
just want to say this, and I want people to think about it. I'm over 60, okay? I grew up in a toxic home due to alcoholism, all right? I muted myself. I never told anybody what was going on in my house. My mother never told me not to tell. I had the opportunity and the ability to tell always, but I muted myself. And I don't think the adults around me realized how I muted myself. And I want to say that to say this to everybody because it took me up until hmm, 6 years ago to stop muting myself and learning to live in my truth.
All
So
right
I
now.
spent my entire life being angry, being uh verbally, and I would jump on people, and I still have that in me, don't get me wrong. But because I muted myself and nobody looked at me to say, "What's the matter? Come here, let me talk to you. What's going on?" It was you have to treat your children individually, and this is what I admire about Melody. She knows her children. It's not just a blanket,
mhm.
these are the rules of the house. This child accepts things this way. This child,
Mm.
this is just the rules of the house.
Hold on 1 second, BX girl. Someone said, "Why did you mute yourself?"
Because I didn't want anybody to know. I
Uh-oh. Your microphone is messing up.
I'm
Are you in
sorry.
a good?
I was parents separately. I loved my dad. Don't get me wrong. I took care of him until his last breath. And I love my mother. She's still with me. But I didn't want anybody to know.
You didn't want anyone to know, is what you said, right?
You sound like a robot.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. You might need to come out. You might need to come down and come back in because right now your microphone makes you sound like you are really distorted. Okay. So I heard her say that she didn't want to embarrass. She was embarrassed by it. And I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. That's normal. The majority of the time, the reason why people are afraid to tell, they mute themselves, is because they are embarrassed because people are living a life that they think is much different and better than theirs.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want others to know. They want to put on this performance and blah blah blah.
Hi,
blah.
Diana, can you hear me?
Perfect. Go ahead.
Okay. And I didn't realize it because I was talking to one of my cousins a couple of months ago. And she said, "You never wanted to go home." And she said, "Why didn't you ever want to go home?" And we were laughing about how my mother would come to get me from their house and I would hide in the closet and they would put me under the bed. And I never wanted to go home. And I had to stop and think, why didn't I ever want to go home? And it was because of the chaos that was going on in my home.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, my my brother, God rest his soul, he turned into a mini Martell.
I knew you were going to
Okay.
say that before you started. Yep.
He turned into a mini.
We lost you again. We lost you again. BX girl, you might have to drop down and come back out again. So Kevin Moore said that Love and Marriage Huntsville opened the door for conversation. Shows in the past Although they were recognized, it was a hidden secret. Where are the times where we must let out light shine, or let our light shine, whereas others may see? I agree. And I don't think, I understand what people are saying. I do. I respect it and I understand it. But at the same time, for the first time ever in history, we are seeing real stories told and watching real people overcome.
And reactions.
And reactions in real time.
Yes.
Previously, you might know, but you don't get to hear their story until years later. Years later, and they can shape that story however they want. You know what I'm saying? People who know, like I remember the Tina Turner story, for instance. When Tina Turner, and I some of you may have saw my post, and I said that Tina Turner, I did a post on my IG stories. Tina Turner and my aunt, my great aunt, my grandmother's sister, went to school together in Memphis.
Wow.
And they knew certain things. And I remember I was always fascinated. I was always fascinated with entertainers, women in particular, but Tina Turner was one of those people that I was just in awe of. I remember reading that doggone book from cover to cover, like in 2 days, like if it was 2 days, okay, like ooh, ooh, ooh. And then I remember hearing my grandmother and her sister talk about it and saying, that didn't happen. This isn't true. This isn't that.
Wow.
I was like, oh wow, this, it was mind blowing for me to get that information. But I said all that to say, sometimes we reshape stories to make us a hero. You know what I'm saying? And that also can cancel out what someone else may be going through, when in reality, it could be much worse than that, which I'm sure it was. But at the end of the day, tell the story. Black excellence is overcoming. Black excellence for us, we've always been there. We've always pioneered stories like hidden. What was it called? Hidden what? Hidden Figures. The fact that movie just came out a couple of years ago,
right?
When people want to make us dumb in math and science and all these other things, and it was Black women who helped men get to the moon, like that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's start paying attention to the fact that we have been fed propaganda and our history has been suppressed. We have always been excellent.
Yes.
Okay. It is totally okay for us to have some hurdles that we need to get over, because our history is way richer. And if we knew that, then we wouldn't be ashamed of the BS that we sometimes see. All of us are going to go through some stuff. We just gotta know. We got to know better.
And learn.
And learn, for sure, for sure. Okay, Miss BX girl, I'm so sorry. Please finish what you had to say.
I'm back.
Okay.
So I watched my brother be narcissistic, and I watched my brother be aggressive with women, and I would fight him. I mean, literally, we go toe to toe, okay? Because I wasn't going to have him treating people like that.
Right.
I wasn't going to have him rule over his children the way he did. The way he did things was not correct, in my opinion. Similar to that person. Okay, I don't like to call his name because he irritates me.
Right.
My brother's been dead now since 2011. Tomorrow is the anniversary of his death. And my niece said to me the other day, she said, I loved it when you were around because you was the only one that would stand up to him.
Okay.
All right. I said all that to say this. People, watch your kids. Learn your children and their different personalities.
Oh, child, for sure.
Don't just bank on the fact that you made a rule in your house and not to say anything, because the way one child internalizes something is totally different than the way that other child might do it. So your blanket rules should be your blanket rules, of course. But I could not stop. I didn't have to spank my kids. I could not stop speaking to my son and it would kill him. My daughter, I might have to punch her in the throat. because it didn't bother her.
It's always them girls, huh?
Who you? Ain't she a Scorpio? Jesus, keep me near the cross. Okay.
I got one girl and 3 boys, and the girl is the one, man.
Listen, the girls are the quickest. They gotta find the truth.
I can't stand that child to this day. Okay. Sometimes I just hang up on her, and she's grown and she has 3 grown children. But watch your children. Watch how they react. Watch how they internalize things. Make sure that your blanket statements of your house rules, I'm not saying don't have house rules, but get to know your kids as individuals.
Facts.
Because the one that is not talking, or the one that's, and I'm a talker. Oh, I'm in your face. They call me mouth almighty, tongue everlasting. And I'm actually quiet, kind of an introverted, quiet person. But when I'm around other people, you would think I talk all the time. I can sit here all weekend and not open my mouth and be perfectly happy with it. But watch your kids. Make sure you get to know your children, because the one that you think is okay with it is the one that's struggling the most.
Yeah.
The one that may be the loudest is the one that's really struggling the most.
That's a fact.
And that's
Thank you for that. Thanks for that, Jen.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, because it wasn't easy. And again, my father's been gone now and I took care of him until the day he left here. My father wasn't a bad person. He was a troubled person.
Right.
And the older I got, I had resentment toward him for a long time. I was angry with him, but I wasn't allowed to express that anger. I didn't know how to get rid of it. I didn't know, back then it wasn't therapy and that kind of stuff for the kids. It was like, deal with it, whatever, and then I was put in different positions dealing with my father where I wasn't allowed not to. It was, tell your daddy, I said, tell your mama, I said, why am I the one that have to tell everybody everything? So just learn your children. Learn your children. And make sure that just because that loud wheel is squeaking, that there's not something else going on inside. Because they could be angry for a reason. They could be loud for a reason. Just because that one is quiet, that doesn't mean that quiet one don't care. They're just looking for their escape. And that loud one is trying to tell you, I'm hurting. This is not good for me. But you're not focusing on that. You're labeling that as loud or aggressive or whatever. You're not focusing on that loud child is the one that's screaming out for help, and that quiet one is the one that doesn't care. And or whatever the case may be.
BX girl, because I'm a in the chat but I'm gonna end it on a good note, because everything that you said is 100% facts. Pay attention to your kids. Learn them and learn what makes them tick, like the quiet one, the loud one. Figure out why, okay? So that you can get them to the place where they need to be. Because honestly, and I had this conversation a couple of weeks ago. I went to a graduation for like a nephew of mine, and graduated from a very major league college, okay? And I remember, and I told you guys a little bit about this too. I told you I had a friend who graduated from Brown University, went to Brown because of open enrollment. And every Black kid who came in through the open enrollment process graduated. They did it was all like we're going to just see if they can do it. Did it, and they never offered it again. Okay.
So,
right.
Just so people are aware. But when she had her baby, she had 3. I remember she would cook them dinner. She would cook every child what they wanted. Okay. And I remember thinking, girl, what are you doing?
My grandfather would have snapped.
Yes. Because I grew up, you had to eat what came to the table.
That's right.
You ate what, even if you didn't like, I don't give a damn if you don't like it, you're going to sit here until you finish it.
Oh, God, yes.
I would gladly starve, but I was forced to eat until I could figure out a creative way to put stuff in a napkin and throw that shit away or throw it wherever. But she would fix all of her kids what they wanted. And she would fix the, and literally, I don't care what the time was. This one want this and this one chicken, this one macaroni and cheese. I'm gonna fix everybody what they want. And her son, who just graduated from a major college, literally is one of the best chefs ever, and he's about to go over to China because his favorite, like that's his top cuisine. He makes a lot of. He's going over there to learn how to cook, and right now I could hire him to cook, and he went to medical school. I was like, what in the world? But just to think, if you recognize that your kids have a certain thing, whatever that thing is, and cultivate it. Listen, this is what I see in you. I'm going to make sure that I give you what you need so that you can grow and do certain things. But right now, this boy, he's a man, but this boy has dinner parties every weekend where people pay to come to his house, and he will do a 8-course meal.
Wow.
Because his mama said, I'm going to make you your own individual dinner so that you, whatever's in you, I want you to grow and cultivate. That is what we have to understand when it comes to Black excellence. Learn your children and do what they want sometimes so that they can say, hey, this is my skill, this is my talent. Okay. But that's it. I agree.
Thank you, ladies.
Okay. You guys were amazing. I appreciate you spending this time with me. As always, let's see what else. What's going on here? Betty Boop said you were saying a word. Yes, having a conversation with her dad. Lives with me, 85 years old, was trying to tell me how to deal with one of my daughters, and I told him I'm not listening. There you have it. Facts. At some point, you have to abandon what you know didn't feel good for you and do something different.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anyways, guys, I love y'all. Thank you to all
right, bye.
All right,
Dyana.
ciao, ladies.
I see. Oh wait, Diana.
Yes.
Email. Did you?
Yes, I'm still working on it, Ty.
All right.
I'm gonna say this.
I'm not in no rush. Okay.
Wednesday, on Friday, I'm gonna do my first members only.
Okay, good.
This week, Friday. I'm gonna send it out, if not tonight, tomorrow, so that you guys can come in and we can have these discussions, some of these healing discussions, to make sure that we're all doing good. Because I love you guys so much. I appreciate you guys so much.
This was great today. I really appreciate this panel today. This was good.
I appreciate you too. So
all right, I'll see you later. Okay.
This week, Friday, members
all right.
Only gonna talk. Okay.
All right. See you later.
Bye, Chicky. Okay. And thank you to everybody else who joined me today. Thank y'all. I appreciate you so much. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe on your way out. And what else do I want to say? Thank you to all of my mods. Thank you to all of my mods who came in to make sure that everybody had a good time in the chat. Thank you to everyone who blessed the channel and became a member today. I appreciate that too. You guys have been great. I really enjoyed this discussion, and I'm hoping that we can have more because we really need to make some changes. And we just got to remember how things were. Let's remember our history and push forward in a way that's positive and actually makes changes. Let's stop trying to go backwards. We got enough going backwards, okay? But outside of that, you guys hit the like, subscribe, and that notification bell. I appreciate all of you as always for rocking with me, and I will see you on the next one.